started off as a harmless TikTok prank, ended with flashing lights, handcuffs, and a mugshot that shocked the entire internet. We about to be reacting to a video about a TikToker that just took pranking way too far. I'm not pretty sure what we about to see, but just know it's finna be interesting. Hopefully. I haven't did a genuine reaction video in a minute, so hopefully today will be that day where I post it. Before we start reacting, I want you guys to subscribe, turn on post notifications so you guys get notified for every video I post. And without further ado, we finna get into this. TikToker locked up for an unthinkable prank.
This TikToker was facing some serious time for terrorizing subway passengers and as a result was locked up for about 10 months. So meet the Belgian influencer who spent months pouring buckets of unknown liquids onto random passengers of the subway and somehow...
What? What do you mean unknown liquids? If this ever happened to me though, I'm not trying to seem like tough guy here. I keep a box cutter with me all the time. Something might happen.
Random passengers of the subway.
I would
and somehow
crash
now,
out,
after
bro.
being locked up for 10 months in pretrial detention, just walked free with what might be one of the more lenient sentences that we've seen in a long time. Because I mean, most of the time when it comes to scumbag influencers I cover here on this channel, the updates we cover are usually about them getting arrested, sentenced, and how long they'll be serving in prison. However, this time, it's clearly very different. And the reason why this has happened might be a little bit more complicated than most people would think. But in case you don't remember
why was he doing it in the first place though?
And he's built an entire online career off of assaulting random strangers with buckets of the most disgusting slop that you can imagine.
What is that? If this isn't unemployed, I don't know what is, bro. This is unemployment activity, bro. Is that wasabi, my boy? Like, nah, bro. I would actually crash.
Disgusting slop that you can imagine.
We're talking about
mixing paint, beer, food, leftovers, dog waste, all in one bucket, taking it to the subway and just dumping it over a random person. And this could be ranging from a homeless person to an elderly person to a 9-year-old kid.
Cap, they're not doing this to kids. They're not. They're actually not doing that to kids.
To a 9-year-old kid. So any reasonable person would see this and
nine years old,
lock them up and throw away the key. We don't want this in society. But I guess Belgium thinks 10 months is enough for this. Which, who knows?
Yeah, this
it
ain't
might
even
be.
the US.
Maybe he learned his lesson. I hope he did. But Yannick was arrested on January 3rd of 2024 after a judicial investigation was initiated. This follows the Brussels Public Transport Company filing a series of complaints. He was released on bail just 5 days later on January 8th under strict conditions. And instead of,
bail,
reconsidering his life choices
assaulting
and
a child,
just stop assaulting people, he decided, hey, let me just do that again. So he decided to just return and publish a new episode of his Scumbag series in which, again, he pours some bucket of sludge over people on the train. And then just a few days later, he branched out into another complete moronic idea where he decided to just pelt strangers with eggs on the street of Brussels. Because apparently, he's just...
Yo, I'm saying this to anybody, bro. Anybody who thinks it's smart to throw eggs at me, mind you, if I don't know you, I don't got any beef with you. Nothing. You just felt the need to just throw eggshells or egg yolk at me. You might see me on the local news, bro. I'm not saying that because I want people to think I'm tough. I'm just saying that it's just a form of retaliation. Because why are you doing that?
The dude's no rocket scientist. But also, apparently it didn't even hurt him that much doing that. But essentially what he did with that was, here you go, investigators. Have some more evidence. And according to them, he had recorded that before his arrest and had decided to upload it afterwards. In his own words, he didn't think about it properly. I don't know if like the timing of when you filmed yourself committing the assault is the key issue here, but either way, that is extremely stupid. And then when confronted about the egg videos, he admitted to throwing the eggs, but also said, I never would have thought that anyone would actually file a complaint.
You gotta be slow. You actually gotta be slow for somebody to think it like that. Like, you're literally hurting somebody by doing that. You think they're just not gonna file a complaint or like have any type of problem with it? That's just slow energy, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
You never thought anyone would file a complaint about a stranger throwing eggs on them while they're just trying to do normal stuff in the city? Like, does this dude just think he's living in some sort of like TV show where he's like the main character and everyone else is just around him and they're just paid actors in his environment?
Exactly what
he gets to roam free and do whatever he wants to. What kind of delusional bubble do you have to be in to think that assaulting someone random on the street wouldn't result in people being upset and filing police reports? Clearly, this guy doesn't have a single shed of any self-awareness in his body. But it gets so much worse because, as we covered last time, on August 27, 2024, the police conducted a search of Yannick's home. And here, I guess he decided to show them how much he's reformed from his previous legal troubles. So not only did he resist the officers trying to do their job, but they also found 2 cans of pepper spray during the search. So you have resisting the officer.
What was he gonna do with that pepper spray? I'm not surprised if he used that pepper spray to terrorize people for no reason. Because based off what I'm hearing about this guy, I wouldn't, like, he seems like the type of dude to do that, bro. And probably think he would never face no repercussions for that or any consequences.
Because apparently pepper spray is illegal in Belgium. I
Tear
didn't know
gas?
this, but there, he spent about 10 months waiting for his trial. So, the charges he was facing in total were 7, including violation of bail, insulting state agents, resisting against the police, possession of prohibited weapons, intentional assault and battery, destruction of public property, and distribution of dangerous-looking substances. So that's quite a rap sheet to have right there. Now, if you'd fast forward to this trial that happened last month, the judge wasn't messing around. He did acquit him of one charge, the distribution of dangerous-looking substances one. I guess they just decided while dumping mystery sludge on people is definitely assault, it wasn't quite dangerous enough to warrant that particular charge. My thought, though, is like, what if someone is allergic to whatever he threw into that sludge?
Oh, nah.
I don't know. I feel like it's dangerous either way.
I think that's life. That got to be life in prison. Because what if they actually like have some type of weakness to something, or like some type of poisonous, or like they're prone to some type of substance and they just end up dying? Now what? You just got a body now.
But for the other charges, they initially demanded 30 months of prison time for the buckets incidents, plus an additional year
like
for the egg
3
throwing
years, right?
and resisting arrest. So in total, that would have been around 3.5 years in prison for everything that he did. And the deputy public prosecutor laid out exactly why this case was so severe, pointing out that one of the influencer victims was a homeless person who was sleeping on the street. Another 9-year-old girl who had a bucket of this disgusting mixture thrown on her for one of his videos.
Add an extra 5 years. Wait, I seen this video before. I don't know why it looks pink though. I swear I seen this video before. I just dropped my mic. Why the man's daughter was standing right there, or like sitting right next to him, and then he just said, forget them both. Poured on both of them. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. I ain't think much of it until now. For what reason though? What if she got sick from that?
It's just so disgusting to me that he dumped a random bucket of sludge on a 9-year-old girl. I am shocked he wasn't thrown in prison for that alone. And the prosecution also highlighted something
that gotta have like an extra 5 years
remorse. And so when he was asked about this in court, his response was, I didn't know that I could end up in jail again because of that. Okay, well,
he gotta be the slowest human being. He actually has
people in public. You didn't know. Like, that's your get out of jail free card. And apparently, it kind of is a get out of jail free card in Belgium. Belgium might be cooked. I mean, this is just such a frustrating story and case as well. Because, as it turns out, at the end of the trial, the judge agreed to the defense's plea of a milder sentence. So Unite was sentenced to just 15 months of probation. That means that he is walking free right now as long as he doesn't violate certain conditions, like returning to his channel and uploading more videos of himself terrorizing the people of Brussels.
Somebody creep up on him.
As long as he doesn't do that, he can basically just go free about his life. So TLDR, he essentially got 15 months of please be a normal human being. That would be great, sir. That was the punishment he received. Meanwhile, his 2 friends who helped him filming these pranks, they got sentenced to 100 hours of community service each. So all in all, Yannick spent 10 months at a pretrial detention center from August of 2024 until June of 2025. So it's not like he got off completely free, but you can definitely say that this was a slap on the wrist compared to what he could have been getting here. However, as anyone might expect, people online weren't exactly thrilled with this outcome. Reddit threads about the verdict were filled with people expressing their disbelief as what they saw was a highly lenient sentence. Yeah, you could see these comments here. I mean, the general statement...
Let's read these. What is wrong with our criminal justice system? They should really put him in jail for 30 months and when he's released, make him work in the sewers. Is it because he's a YouTuber that he's being treated more lenient? Is it because he supposedly lost wages? What the hell, Belgium? Even if he breaks his terms, he won't go to jail. Unfortunately, who still believes in Belgian justice system?
Yeah, you could see these comments here. I mean, the general statement just seemed to be that 15 months suspended was barely a slap on the wrist for someone who had been spending months terrorizing innocent people and filming it for their entertainment. And many people were pointing out his sentence and what regular people face for much less serious offenses. Others were questioning whether the justice system was sending the right message to other potential pranksters who might be watching this case. And I mean, honestly, it's hard to blame them for being frustrated from this. From from my perspective, you don't know people's medical history. You don't know what people are allergic to. Either way, this is extremely dangerous, pouring a bucket of an unknown substance on someone's head in public. And also,
that's
just
just
no one
crazy in
wants that
itself.
done to them. Treat people
Not
as
even
you would
water,
want to be
bro.
treated. What happened to that? But I guess here's where the story gets a little bit more complicated and where Unike's slap on the wrist sentence starts to make a little bit more sense, because Belgium is currently dealing with a massive prison overcrowding crisis that's affecting how justice
That's
is
how you
served across
know
the
it's
country.
bad, bro. That's how you know it's getting bad over there. If they have a problem with an overcrowded prison system, that's when you got to start sending them to Guatemala, the abandoned prison. That's when you got to start rebuilding that. Like, only the light prisoners should stay in Belgium. Extreme people that's like terrorists and stuff like that, or like did terroristic acts, send them over there to Guatemala, bro. Or Guantanamo Bay. That's what it is. Guantanamo Bay. I don't even think that's in Guatemala, but I don't care. I really don't care.
Belgium is currently dealing with a massive prison overcrowding crisis that's affecting how justice is served across the country. According to the recent reports from the Brussels Times, the Belgian prison system is housing over 13,000 inmates despite having capacity of only about 11,000.
I don't know if that's a
means
lot.
that 2,000 people are crammed into a system that simply can't handle them. The
I'd hate
situation is
that.
apparently so
I'd
bad
hate
that
that.
320 inmates
Anybody
are
would
sleeping on
hate that.
mattresses on cell floors. And this isn't just like a temporary problem. These numbers represent an all-time high for the Belgian prison system, which has been ongoing since at least 2014. And apparently, courts are under constant pressure to find alternatives to imprisonment because there just isn't enough space for everyone who gets sentenced. An article from the Brussels Times stated that over 700 convicts were released early to create space for new inmates.
That's
So, with all this
crazy.
in mind,
Imagine getting released because they just didn't have no more room for you. Not gonna lie, they was probably so happy. They was probably so happy, and now they just get to walk around free. Maybe not. Maybe they're on probation, but like, they're still out there, bro.
starts to make new inmates. So with all this in mind, when you look at Unike's suspended sentence, it starts to make a little bit more sense. The judge might have wanted to give him actual prison for this, but knew doing so would mean they would probably have to release someone else. Again, this doesn't make the outcome any more satisfying for all the victims or people who were hoping to see some sort of real consequences for this guy, but it does explain why someone who spent months assaulting strangers for YouTube views can, I guess, walk around with a very low punishment. But I guess the truly concerning aspect of the situation is the message it sends to other aspiring content creators in Belgium who may be watching, or even to Unike himself. Like, the suspended sentence might just be enough of a slap of the wrist for him to where as soon as he's off probation, he might just pick off where he left off. And I hate that.
That's
I ended
exactly
my
what he's
last
gonna
video
do.
on him.
If the money is not hitting right anymore, he's gonna get back to that. If he has no other options, he's gonna go back to it, but it will put him in prison way more longer though.
Hey, at least the people of Brussels, they can relax and take the subway without the fear of some moron pouring a bucket of who knows what on them, while they're simply just trying to get from point A to point B. Apparently, that could be a reality now. So, hey, if we ever receive another update on this guy, I'll probably cover it. Either way, feel free to subscribe to this channel if you're new. Drop a
Okay, that's the end of this video. Alright, do not be like this guy, guys. Even if it gets you views, you cannot dodge a prison sentence all the time. But that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out.